Hello, Mike Kipina here with the CESMII Smart Manufacturing Institute. I'd like to spend a few minutes talking with our vendor partners, our software vendors, and technology partners that are part of the CESMII ecosystem, or those who may be interested in joining the CESMII ecosystem. You know, a quick recap of who we are and what we're doing. Our mission is really simple. We've been stood up by the Department of Energy and administered by University of California, Los Angeles, to do one thing primarily, and that's to accelerate the adoption of smart manufacturing technology into the US manufacturing sites that we have. You know, we call it accelerating the democratization of smart manufacturing, and we're doing this in three principal ways. We've developed a platform infrastructure that's available for our community of users that's designed to lower the cost to stand up and commission these types of systems and provide a high degree of interoperability so that more and more vended applications can interact and interoperate on the manufacturing floor. You know, today, only less than 2% of the installed base of manufacturing in the United States can actually afford to put in what we call smart manufacturing, or what smart manufacturing is known as today. Our approach with our smart manufacturing innovation platform is to lower that threshold of access by taking a lot of non-value added costs out of the process. We do this by creating this interoperability layer and a connectivity layer that reduces the complexity and labor costs associated with standing up and commissioning these types of systems that have been traditionally put in with a very large monolithic stack of technologies. We intend to be able to extend access to those manufacturing floors through our technology to a broader ranges of applications, smaller applications, and more robust applications than have been traditionally able to have been done at a price point that allows the larger set of our manufacturing community out there to be able to adopt the technology. Our mission, is really kind of unique in that our partnership that we have, or the ecosystem that we're creating out there, really involves a manufacturer, a systems integrator, a software applications vendor, academia, as well as the machine builders. And from what we're trying to do is bring all of those people and these organizations together to solve this one particular problem. And that problem is how do we lower the cost of deploying and commissioning and supporting these types of systems? We've been funded with a $75 million worth of federal money to move the needle in that direction. And from a software vendor standpoint, what we're doing is offering a platform where everybody can play, and we've democratized it to the point where more and more vendors can have access to that machine information, the manufacturing floor information, at a much lower cost than we've traditionally seen. In fact, we think that we can reduce it by 50, 75% at least. And why is that important? Well, if I'm a software vendor like yourselves, by doing so, I can have access to a broader potential customer base. And that's pretty important. Not only does it lower the cost, but it really takes out a lot of the risk. And my experience has been, when it comes to standing up these systems, risk is sometimes a bigger factor than the actual cost. And selling management on doing these types of systems almost always involves a significant risk calculation that must be mitigated before they move forward with these types of projects. By having a standard interoperability layer that the applications can interact with, we hope to show that that risk profile goes down substantially, cost goes down substantially, more applications can be delivered into the marketplace for that same level of price commitment. So we think that's a pretty critical and key component to the overall program. As a software vendor, what we have is a large ecosystem of customers as well. So in addition to the target customers you have, by joining CESMII, you have access through our forum to probably customers that you might not have otherwise had access to. In addition to that, our ecosystem has systems integrators. Well, if you're going to deploy your systems into the manufacturing site, you know how important the systems integrators are. So we bring the systems integrators together, the software manufacturers together, end customers together, academia, and machine builders, all to focus on how to make this faster, easier to deploy, less risky to deploy, and have a common voice into the manufacturing marketplace that's explaining why this works the way it does and why it's different than the traditional approaches have been. In addition to that, in order to accelerate the process, we have innovation projects. These innovation projects, really the fundamental basis of the innovation projects is to help drive the adoption of our interoperability layer, as we call it, our smart manufacturing innovation center application or an end. But the other component of this is that we want to get the adoption, we want to get profiles. In other words, we want to get more and more different kinds of manufacturing equipment profiles into the community, because it in itself will reduce the incremental forward-looking costs of deploying those systems. To that extent, we are offering $100,000 grants for innovation projects. So just even on the surface, an extra $100,000 may make a project more viable than it otherwise would not have been without that $100,000 grant. So when you think about it, we have grants for innovation projects, we have grants for technology development, and as a software vendor, these are monies that can be applied towards integrating your software into the platform, as well as creating new value in the platform, which you get paid to do. So there's these number of components here that can help move the needle, if you will, for a smart manufacturing in the U.S. by joining CESMII. With that said, we are a member-based organization, and so the membership to CESMII is fairly scalable. We have 4 different categories of members. There's silver, gold, platinum, and observer. So the observer level on the lowest can be had for a couple of $1,000s a year to get you involved in CESMII, to see what it is and see how valuable it is to you. And the other 3 really are scalable depending on your size and how involved you want to be with CESMII. So as I mentioned, we have these innovation projects. If a silver member can run one of those innovation projects themselves per year, and a platinum member can run multiple ones. So if you're really focused on on delivering a number of new innovation projects, you might want to look at a platinum or a gold membership that would enable you to do that. I'd encourage you to take a look at detail at our at our membership model, and I'd be happy to send that over to you if you would like, and we can go through it and help you dial in which one of those memberships might be the right one for you to get started with CESMII.